2 days ago, we found out that the release date for Fallout 76's beta would be this October. Surrounding that, there's a ton of confusion and further clarifications that there'd also be a closed beta beforehand and how the beta rollout will actually work. I made a full video covering all of that, so you can check it out if you're interested or missed a lot of the information. I think the original release was actually pretty unclear, but with that original release, we actually got a few other details about when we're going to get a deeper dive, as Bethesda calls it, into Fallout 76. So following the E3 announcement, there was a ton of interviews that revealed a ton of features, and I've gone over many of them on this channel. I think before QuakeCon, I might do a recap video looking at all the details and things we know thus far about Fallout 76. But either way, there's still a lot we don't know, a lot of mysteries out there. I actually made a video looking at that, and I know a lot of people in the community feel a bit frustrated at the way things have been handled with this and the way things are going. So a couple of days ago, Bethesda actually tweeted that we're pleased to reveal some major activities planned for our games, including the highly anticipated gameplay reveal of Doom Eternal, a deeper dive into Fallout 76 featuring Todd Howard and co. So that's really exciting. Actually, following this, we got a reveal of the QuakeCon panel list. Again, we're going to get that reveal of Doom Eternal on Friday. It's 11 a.m. Central Time. But then on Saturday, August 11th, just 2.5 weeks from this video, we're going to get a Fallout 76 panel and fan Q&A. In the description of this, they do mention that Bethesda Game Studios will take fans through a deeper dive into character systems and perks coming in Fallout 76, followed by a Q&A with the team to address fans' most pressing questions. So that's quite exciting. I imagine there won't be as much information given out at this event because it's QuakeCon, not BethesdaCon. But if you go through some of the original gameplay, there's very little actually shown in regards to the perks and the leveling system. The only real look we got at perks was through the Noclip Documentary, and even that, there's only a brief clip talking about this. There's still a lot that isn't known. As of right now, we do know that perks are going to have way more trade-offs in this game. So when you level up, you'll get to pick a new perk card, and with that, there's going to be kind of a pro to it, but also a con, similar to how traits worked in previous Fallout games. In addition, each time you level up, you're actually going to be able to totally reshuffle all of your perk cards. So let's say you spent your 5 perk points, you can recall them and actually respend them on other things to kind of change your character build. And apparently you could change your perk cards with other members in your party. Almost all of that information was actually garnered from the Noclip Documentary. I'll have it linked down in the description with a time card as to where in the documentary they actually talk about that. So that's exciting, but the even more interesting part in my eyes is actually that second part. A Q&A with the team to address fans' most pressing concerns. Based off the tweet we just saw, obviously Todd Howard is going to be involved in this. When they announced the beta, they actually made a community post where they also detail things about this Q&A. In that post, they do say, "Beyond that, we know you have numerous questions about the game. Things are still changing and being iterated on, so we cannot answer everything yet, but we encourage you to submit your questions." And then just some details on the panel, but then finally, send questions our way by posting them here in the forums, that being the Bethesda.net forums, on any of the Fallout subreddits, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. So this part I'm actually really excited for. There's been a few efforts by some of the different subreddits to actually kind of compile a nice list of questions. Who knows which subreddits exactly they'll take from or how much time they'll actually allocate to this. There's supposed to be a Q&A, I believe, with the premiere of the Noclip documentary, but they only got like 3 or 4 questions, I think, and kind of ignored it largely. So here, I think this could be really valuable because having some sort of dialogue, even if it's literally just a question and answer, I think could give a lot of insight to Fallout 76. I've showed you guys some of the Pete Hines responses in the past, and they seem to be way more detailed due to the Q&A format than just kind of the typical speaking at a crowd that we saw at the presentation. So hopefully from this, we could find out more maybe about the story and the lore. I know those are 2 really kind of large questions that haven't been answered really anywhere yet. Maybe even some more about the DLC. Obviously the game has to come out first, but a lot of people are wondering how the DLC will be handled. Is Creation Club making a return or not? Either way, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. A lot of exciting things coming, but before we end things off, we do have today's psychology fun fact of the day, and that's on what makes people friends. So I'm not having like one source here, but basically a lot of the work by a sociologist named Rebecca Adams is on kind of the factors that lead to 2 people becoming friends. And to simplify things, some of the largest or most prominent factors in friends is proximity, so just being near each other. This is something I had paralleled in certain geography classes, but basically there are certain distances where if somebody moves that far away, you simply won't see them that often, and typically judged based on how close of friends you are. If it's your parents and they move an hour away, maybe every couple weekends you'll drive out and give them a visit. If it's somebody that you're decent friends with, but not super good friends with, and they move an hour away, maybe you'll just never see them again. Then of course, course, people that are very close to you, like your next door neighbor, tend to become your friends because you always see them. Proximity is extremely valuable in friendship. And kind of going along with proximity, one of the next biggest factors was actually repeated and unplanned interactions. So not just saying, hey, can we hang out, but actually just kind of stumbling into each other. This is why so many people develop friends in school, but then might have issues developing friends in college or in the workplace. At school, you're spending 7 hours a day in this building with, let's say, 300 to 1,000 others. You're almost forced into interacting with some of these people regularly, and oftentimes it isn't planned at all. While at college, you can just live at your dorm, go to class, sit by yourself, and never interact with anyone. And then finally, this is a pretty big one, is a context where people feel like they can let their guard down. This is why you don't necessarily make a ton of friends at work. You kind of put on this persona or cover at work. You're not necessarily being your true self. If you actually look at a lot of good friends, they typically act themselves. You feel like you really know the person. Either way, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I thank you all again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.
Wait, how did I get shot? Oh, she is. She shot me.
Op 4 eliminated.
I'm like, what the?